Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode on Nikki Marie Radio. I'm your favorite podcast host, Nikki Marie. I have a filmmaker, actor, and director, and he's calling in from LA. I'm so excited to have him on the show. You guys are going to learn a lot more about him and all that he has done so far in his short years of living. So, Emmanuel, I want you to say hello to all the listeners and where exactly in LA you're calling from.
Hi there, Nikki. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Emmanuel. I'm a 19-year-old Latin filmmaker and director and actor. And I'm currently right here calling you from downtown Los Angeles.
Nice. How is the weather there? Because it is extremely hot in New York.
Yeah, it's same here in LA. It's pretty hot. We're hanging in there.
Yeah. So 19 years old. I don't know if you are familiar with the song Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. But what are some challenges that you faced as a filmmaker? This is your first project that's happening right now, right? So at such a young age, what are the challenges that you faced so far?
Yeah, Nikki, as far as being a 19-year-old filmmaker in this industry, one of the biggest challenges that I've had to overcome would be the skepticism of people thinking that the questions, can he pull it off? He's 19, he's so young, he's fresh into the game. Is he really going to pull this off? And if so, how is he going to do it? I think overall that's been the biggest challenge to overcome. Is just the skepticism, like I was saying. But I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about it. I want to let the work and the art speak for itself.
Ooh, okay. I love the confidence. And that is something that I would love to portray to all my young listeners who are listening right now. And just talk a little bit about your film, the title of it, what it's about, and I guess what's the story behind it?
Yeah, so BLASÉ L.A. is about a group of young teenagers living in their last year of high school. Specifically with my character, he's actually coming out from a city outside of LA. He's coming to LA to reconnect with his estranged father. And he wants to really just immerse himself into the lifestyle of the selfie-obsessed culture that we have here in LA. So he just wants to come in and fit in and live the lifestyle, but he has to overcome a couple of obstacles while he's in the city, and he wants to use his father's connections to be the person that he wants to be, but he has to overcome all of these obstacles. So ultimately, BLASÉ L.A. is really about the capturing the lifestyle, and most importantly, the time capsule that we were actually shooting in 2019, 2020 pre-COVID, but unfortunately, because of that and the pandemic, we've actually stopped production for a while until everything's, cleared and safe to go back to normal.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot, especially with production companies, and I am one as well. This pandemic hasn't been our friend. It's been more of a foe than a friend. But there are some beautiful things that have come from COVID. And it's mostly some people have been able to start businesses. Some people have been able to write more. I'm curious about the title of the film. Where did that title come from?
Definitely. The title actually came from just the overall vibe and the feeling that I would get typically, a night out, a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. I feel like when you're immersed in the city, just in general, as a person, you tend to reflect the things that are around your environment. And I feel like in the city of LA, it's very common to just go out and about, go to an art gallery, go shopping, go get some good dinner. And it's just very blasé to the city and to the people that are in it. So I feel like overall the title and the vibe to the movies, it's not just blasé, but more specifically to the opportunities that are in the city. I feel like there's a lot of room for growth and a lot of people that are trying to master their craft, specifically for artists in general. And just in the city itself, it's just very blasé for people to just let those opportunities slip past by them. Thankfully, for myself at this age that I am, I'm very blessed and I'm very fortunate to be able to wake up and do what I love for a living. So I just want to be a possible reference and an example to inspire other youth and just other people in general to go out and pursue their dreams.
That's a powerful statement. Have you ever been to New York?
I haven't actually. I've been dying to go to New York.
Okay, so let's switch places here. I've never been to LA, but I
Okay.
would love to be there just so I can get this life that you're talking about, this blasé life.
Specifically catering to BLASÉ L.A., it's a very Beverly Hills, very Paris Hilton paparazzi inspired, obsessed world that it's very Hollywood, very Beverly Hills. It's just something that I want to showcase in the film, the glitz and the glam, the fame, especially when it comes to celebrities. There's one specific character in mind that I just can't wait for audiences to get a hold of. The character is actually a female, and if I were to describe her in one word, I'd say it's a positive word. Don't get me wrong with the connotation. I'd say she's honestly she's a baddie. I mean, this female character, she's very strong and independent. I don't want to spoil away too much, but she
Right.
gives you an insight as to what life is like, a little bit towards the hills and just living that kind of lifestyle in the city.
Yeah. What are some films that are out now and also filmmakers that have been the most inspiring and influential to you, and why?
Specifically for me, something that I can totally relate to, the latest thing that popped up in my head would be Uncut Gems. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I loved both of those films. Were amazing. They were incredible. I loved the visual aspect of Uncut Gems and the feel of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was just very immersive. It takes you into that place as if you were living in there. One of the things that the main character for BLASÉ L.A. has to overcome is the relationship with him and his estranged father. And with Uncut Gems, you actually got to see a bit of the action that goes on with New York and the jewelry district. And I just want to showcase a little bit of that side here in LA as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've never really did like a whole film. Kind of walk me through a little bit of that process.
Well, the process that I went for about when writing the script and just curating the idea was actually when I was in college. I was dorming in the freshman dorms. I was living regular life, going to my classes, coming back, things like that. And one day I was just overlooking the perspective of the whole school, and I didn't want to wait 4 years to get the ball rolling, so I decided to take an academic leave and came back to LA. I actually finished writing the script in my dorm just before I left, and as soon as I came to LA, I finished up packaging the little promo that I had for BLASÉ L.A. and I ended up going out for a couple of months, trying to get together, socializing and networking with possible investors. And after a couple of good meetings and talks, luckily I found my investors and my producers that are they're very kind to me and they're very true to the vision that I have ultimately for BLASÉ L.A.
Was that stressful to get people to, be on board with you and invest in something that is ultimately your dream?
Yes, yeah, going back just to the beginning in general, I mean, me being 19, I'm very grateful to be able to say that I'm a native of LA. So I think that that's something that gave me sort of the legitimacy to say, okay, yeah, this kid's meant for the job. Overall, just overcoming the obstacles of people saying, is this kid, does he really have what it takes to make a feature? Is it going to be as quality as it's sounding to be? But ultimately, I just want to give thanks to the people that have paved the way for me, such as Robert Rodriguez and Guillermo del Toro, these other Latin filmmakers, Iñárritu as well. These gentlemen have paved the way for people like me to ultimately just say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go for this, and whatever happens, happens. We're just here to make our art. So
Yeah.
I just honestly, want to thank those people that have paved the way for me mostly than anything.
Yeah. I think that's the best part of reflection. You kind of reflect and give thanks to the people who have paved the way, who, like the obstacles that you've had, you're at least able to say, hey, I had these challenges, but you were there for me. I mean, you see that all the time when we watch like the Oscars and just other award-winning shows. And, there's always that one that says, I want to thank all of my team, and, you shout people out. So I'm sure they appreciate that acknowledgement. And, I just want to know, what would you want the audience to take away from watching this film?
That's a really good question. Something that I would say, something that I want them to take away from this film is just to be yourselves. There's a lot of culture and a lot of perspective that I'm going to be showcasing in BLASÉ L.A., not just with art, but with people. And ultimately for BLASÉ L.A., I just want people to be inspired to be themselves and just to shine as bright as possible as they can. We're only here for a limited amount of time, and I just want to really let people to immerse themselves into BLASÉ L.A. and connect with one of the characters. And, ultimately at the end, I feel like everybody's going to get a different message from BLASÉ L.A. There's just so many morals and ethics when it comes to writing a script, just in general. So I feel like a lot of people are going to connect no matter where you're from.
Yeah. And I guess that would be the point. Like, no matter where you're from and what challenges you're facing and all the other little things that come a part of life, you want to bring people together. Like, I always feel like music and films bring people together, right? You feel that way?
Yeah, Nikki. I just feel like with music and just listening to the sonic waves, they can really just take you to a different mood. And ultimately with BLASÉ L.A. and just with culture and people, the world in general, I feel like it doesn't matter where you come from. I feel like us as a human race and as a planet should strive to work together and be the best that we can be every single day.
Yeah. What would be the best advice that you could give someone who's new to filmmaking? Because it goes back to, what we're talking about, the fact that you're 19 years old and, you've accomplished so much in just that short amount of time. But what advice would you give to someone new to filmmaking? And it could be someone who's your age or older.
A piece of advice that I would give to someone would just honestly be to just network a lot, and really get to know your craft. If you're in it for the wrong reasons, if you're in it for money or fame, I honestly wouldn't suggest going into it. I feel like you should have a natural passion for it. At the end of the day, filmmaking is just storytelling in a different way with pictures and music, colors and different taste palettes. And I feel like as an artist, just dedicate yourself, because for me, when it comes just to the whole production of BLASÉ L.A., I have a lot of things going on my plate, and I feel like not only just solely as an actor, as a director and as a writer, I feel like it's very important to make sure that you're keeping up with yourself and you're keeping up with whatever it is that you're trying to progress with, just, set aside a little bit of time, an hour, 2 hours a day, just for writing or just for acting. So I would just suggest mastering your craft and setting aside some time for that.
Yeah, that's great advice. I also want to mention, I guess, two things. You were recently chosen for, I guess, to be a brand advocate for Think, high protein bars.
Yes, yes,
I'm
definitely.
curious about that. But also, you were nominated for a Rising Talent Award from the Hollywood International Film Society. So that's a great accomplishment. But let's go back to the protein bars.
Yes, Nikki, thank you so much for bringing that up. Actually, I love Think Bars. Every time when I'm going to the studio to just jot down some ideas, get some writing done, or if I need to just get in a little workout, just before I go to a scene just to freshen up, I love Think Bars. Think Bars are high protein bars with only 0 grams of sugar and 20 grams of protein. Brownie Crunch is actually one of my go-to flavors. They have other flavors such as salted caramel, chocolate peanut butter pie. They actually have different flavors. They're not just regular protein bars. They actually have keto bars as well as plant-based bars. So be sure to check out Think Bars at thinkbars.com.
Oh, nice. That's a great plug. I actually want to write down that website again. So what is that website?
Let me give you the other website that they have right here. Is going to be at thinkproducts.com.
Nice. Awesome. That sounds like something that we all need right now. One of my friends actually just opened up a juice bar in Brooklyn, and it's called
Really?
Thirst. Yeah, it's called Thirst RX. And it focuses on trying to reduce what is actually going on in our bodies, like build our immune system and, take care of all the colds and things that we have. So that's awesome that he just opened up yesterday.
No
So
way. Wow. Well, congratulations.
yeah, he's doing some great things. So I was curious. I just wanted to find out more about that. But now on to the Rising Talent Award. That's an accomplishment to be nominated. Can you talk a little
Yes,
bit about that?
yeah, definitely, Nikki. Well, just to start off, I'm very humbled and honored to be nominated. Just alone is it means a lot. That just verifies the fact that I've honestly come a long way since I've started, and I feel like it's all been going down so fast. Every day there's something new, and I'm just very blessed and excited to be a part of this.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah.
even get nominated?
Um,
Do you
there was
submit your name for something?
well, actually, the awards were announced back in November of 2020. Uh,
Oh, 2019.
yeah, 2019. I do apologize. Um, no, I actually just got notified. I believe one of my producers and one of my agents was actually they were just in the mix about it, and one day to the other, they were just like, "Hey, you know what? You're nominated coming up January, and we just want you to be prepped and ready for it." But unfortunately, because of COVID, everything just kind of
Yeah.
landslided
See?
out. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the future goals that you have as an actor and filmmaker?
As an
I
actor and
mean,
as a filmmaker,
yeah, I was gonna say, is it a little
just
too hard now because of the pandemic to really predict what the future is gonna look like? But we can be hopeful, right? So, what would be something that you would hope for as a goal once everything is over, in terms of being an actor and also a filmmaker?
well, I'd say something that I definitely want to leave my mark here in Hollywood in the industry, not just as as a member of the Latinx community, but just in general as an artist. I really want to pave the way for others like myself, and really just say thanks through my art to the others that have paved the way for myself. Um, Something that I want to do is ultimately leave the stories behind and leave learning lessons as much learning lessons that I can in my films, as much as possible. I'm ultimately striving just for longevity here. Um, like I said, I'm very grateful and blessed to be a part of this industry, especially at a young age. And I just want to be consistent and strive for perfection as much as possible.
Yeah. I think we all talk about that, leaving a legacy, right?
Yes.
That's pretty much what we'll remember.
Yes, exactly.
Because even as we age, those films that you make are timeless. I'm still watching The Notebook. Not sure if you remember that, but that was an awesome film. But so now with the pandemic, what happens with your film? Like when does it get released? Or do you not have that?
Yes, Nikki. So as far as BLASÉ L.A goes, unfortunately, obviously COVID hit. We are really devastated about that, but we're not giving up hopes. We still have a plan. We're still going for the theatrical release here for 2021 for the summer.
Okay.
So keep your eyes out for theaters 2021 for the summer. Here comes BLASÉ L.A. And we actually had plans to do the premiere for BLASÉ L.A at Cannes Film Festival for 2021.
Wow.
So we're still looking into that right now. But yes, definitely check out BLASÉ L.A for the summer of 2021.
That's amazing. How can people learn more about the film, or even have like a alert that they can sign up for when it does become available?
Yes, so you can feel free to keep up with BLASÉ L.A on my Instagram at Emmanuel the Director, and you can feel free to turn on the post notifications button, and feel free to check out my Twitter at Latin Filmmaker, and you can hear more all about BLASÉ L.A at blaséla.com.
Nice. So after this comes out, what other projects are you planning to do?
Well, Nikki, we're actually planning a lot of projects ahead of time, even before BLASÉ L.A is done. So I'm actually currently writing other screenplays in the meantime. Speaking on COVID, it is very devastating, and I know that it is a very sensitive topic for a lot of people. But just as artists in general, I would just honestly recommend you to just jot down your ideas and just get to writing, because during this pandemic, you have a lot of free time and you have a lot of time to just flesh out all these ideas. So that's just something that I'm currently working on in the meantime, and yeah, I'm very excited for you all to see what's next after BLASÉ L.A.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. First of all, I'm excited and I'm proud of you for even doing what you're doing right now, and also bringing some awareness to health at the same time. So
Thank you, Nikki.
I enjoyed our conversation. I'm so happy for you, and I will be following you and making sure that BLASÉ L.A comes out. Whatever I have to do, kick, scream. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and also my listeners. If you have any last words that you want to get out, please do so.
Thank you so much, Nikki. Honestly, it was just a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And I just want to say, make sure that as an artist, you just keep on striving for 100% effectiveness, and always be sure that you see your vision through.
What's up, everyone? It's your favorite podcast host, Nikki Marie. I wanted to give you some information about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free, and free is for me. They have creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or even your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast in so many places to be heard, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and so many others. You can even make money with minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I can't wait to hear your podcast.